Want to feature Shelter Box this time around. Andre Bloemink is in today from Fernie. Hi, Andre.
Hi, good morning, Dennis.
Reading about Shelter Box, you help out a lot of people in a lot of countries, but tell us about the program to start things off here today.
Shelter Box is an international disaster relief charity, and Canada is just one of a number of countries involved with that umbrella organization, and we have an edict that we want to see those who have been displaced by natural natural disasters and conflict under shelter as quick as they can so they can get on with their lives.
Seems like it really ramps up here all the time. There's so many more natural disasters now.
There is, yeah. At the present time, there's about 85 million people on the planet that are displaced for one reason or another, more than any time in recorded history.
Sometimes Canadians go on trips and then they find that there's people in need of all kinds of different things. Is that what got you into Shelter Box, a trip or a person?
Yeah, I'd been a traveler through my formative years with my parents. My parents had emigrated to Canada after the Second World War in the 50s. So there was always a bit of a seed there. My own travels hadn't been that extensive in sort of dire areas, if you will. But I'd always had an urge to do some sort of aid work, and Shelter Box found me kind of.
You've been in Fernie for quite some time. Mm-hmm. What's your background in work? Like you were employed somewhere that helped people at the same time then?
Yeah. I'm a project manager with a construction company, but in the winter months I also am a ski guide with one of the cat ski companies there. And through that work, I've gotten involved with search and rescue in Fernie as well. I was a past volunteer with the fire department. So, helping others has always been kind of there.
Some of the experiences that really stick out for you are some of the countries where you think you've made a difference through Shelter Box.
I've been on 4 deployments internationally. South America, my first deployment was in Peru, and we've just recently seen almost an echo effect with torrential rain since December. The first one's always the most memorable. I went to the Philippines after Typhoon Haiyan. Most recently, I was in Haiti this past October following Hurricane Matthew. The destruction is different every time. The need is the same.
It's interesting because sometimes you'll go to a country that needs help, but sometimes locals aren't so, they're not so accepting of it. I know that happens. Have you run into any difficult situations?
Yeah, this is true. Haiti had some difficulties. They obviously had a huge disaster in 2010 with the earthquake that hit there. Some of the lessons that they learned internally were brought forward this time. Our usual aid, we're shelter experts, but we also do other life-saving equipment. Our usual aid in the form of tents was not needed at this time, but as an agency, we've grown and evolved to realize that not one solution fits all situations.
Who packages up the tents? How do the packages come and what's in them?
So all of our aid is procured through public donation. It's procured in the UK, where our headquarters is, and it's packed in the UK. And from that point on, we ship it worldwide to storage locations. And the reason we do that is to better facilitate getting aid into country that has been affected quicker, followed by our teams.
Are people calling you, in other words, countries in need, situations in need? Do they contact you, or do you just, watch the news and say, you know what, we should get there?
Both. Again, our headquarters, we have a 24/7 operations department there that is monitoring in real time things that are going on. If an earthquake's happening right now, they probably know about it. But quite often, it's project partners in country that are contacting us. One of the biggest ones, Rotary International. They're an international project partner of us. And Colombia, which recently happened, was Rotary contacting us and getting us into country there.
Where will you focus on mostly for 2017? And I guess that can change any day.
It can. Our long-term deployments and assessments right now are primarily conflict-based ones. We've been in Syria pretty much since day one, 2012. We have partner agencies distributing aid on our behalf in Mosul, Iraq, also in Africa with Boko Haram violence. But another big event that's just garnering media attention right now is drought in Somaliland. Nomadic tribes their livestock has been decimated by 70%. So they're on the move. We're looking at shelter solutions that will better suit their needs, mobile solutions.
What can the public do to help you?
Always looking for donations at shelterboxcanada.org. The website's very informative as to our current activities and how people can help.
You're the local rep for the Kootenays, or you're the representative for Western Canada?
I'm one of a few in the Kootenays.
Okay.
I'm the only response team member. There's a dozen of us here in Canada, but we're part of a bigger team internationally of 200 responders. So I'm the local response team rep, but I do a number of public presentations to get the message out there, also help with fundraising initiatives if people want to take those on as well.
Shelterboxcanada.org. Andre Bloemink, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Dennis.